Well, we gotta get moving because we're talking about walking. Let's get our motor running. Dr. Nathan Sikora, and this is just the joy of my week is really being able to see others learn from the ways that we've creatively put the things together. My heart's desire is to see my patients succeed. Ultimately, when I am able to fill people up with knowledge, with motivation, with just belief in yourself, that your body has the potential to heal, and I see them succeeding in some area of their life, it makes my day. I mean, my heart is filled, my heart's desire is met, and we need to get the motors running. We need to get moving. If we don't take action, then we'll live in fear constantly. We'll be afraid of taking the next step, of the next thing that we're gonna do. We'll be afraid that we're gonna run into trouble. I can tell you, inaction leads you to more trouble than action. So tonight, don't just listen to hear about walking. Don't listen to just hear about the next magic bullet, magic tool, magic way to feel better. Listen because you know your body needs to be reignited with health. And there are simple, easy solutions that you can take that are gonna ignite you every single day in every single way if you just believe in yourself. Today we're going to talk about something that is so simple but so profound. And my hope is that you take to heart what we're talking about, but ultimately take action. So let's talk about the power of walking. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I want to make sure that we debunk some of the common myths about walking, okay? There's definitely myths about walking. We're gonna debunk those things. I want you to understand the benefits. Of course, there are benefits to walking. We want you to understand those, and we want you to be able to create a plan so that you have more movement in your life. There are some myths that we're gonna go through. Number one, walking doesn't count as a real workout. Why even do it? I'm not really pushing myself. I'm not burning enough calories. It's not hard. For some people, it is. And that's where we gotta make sure that we don't lose it. If we don't use it, we will lose it. You need to hit 10,000 steps. You know what? That was actually a marketing gimmick. But do you have to walk 30 minutes continually to see any benefit? That's a myth. Walking is for people who can't run and jog. You know, once I get old enough and I can't run or jog anymore, then I'll just start walking. Not true. Let's get into it. Let's talk about really the truth behind walking. Number one, it doesn't count as a real workout. That's not what Harvard says. A Harvard study showed that walking 30 minutes a day reduces your heart risk by 19%. The CDC recommends 150 minutes of moderate activity a week. Brisk walking is moderate activity. So we're hitting some boxes here about just activity and movement. Let's go to the next myth. You need 10,000 steps. Like I said, this was actually a marketing campaign to just sell products. Studies have shown health benefits in as little as 4,000 steps a day, but the real meat and potatoes at least starts at 7,000 from what we can see. We'll go over this research, but 7,000 steps a day can significantly lower your risk of mortality in people over 40 years old that are doing this every day. That was in JAMA. Let's talk about the third myth. You have to walk continuously. Someone may not be able to move 30 minutes continuously. Pain, dysfunction, disease that's happened over their life. The fact is that you can break it up. Research shows that breaking it up into 3 different sessions of 10 minutes offers the same benefit as continuously walking for 30 minutes. When I read these studies, it continues to solidify what I try to tell everyone in my office. Do something. Start somewhere. If I give you an exercise, tool, anything to use, don't try to find the perfect mat to get on and before you start. Don't try to find the perfect way to do it. Just try and listen to your body. It may say this is too much. Listen to it. Push yourself. Get into an uncomfortable place because discomfort is where we grow. Comfort is where dreams go to die. We had that on one of our quote boards. So get uncomfortable, but don't have to get in misery. Take a walk. If you can't walk 30 minutes, walk 10. Do it 3 times a day. To be honest, that might be better for you if you sit for a living. Myth number 4. Oh, that walking stuff, it's just for people who can't move. I'm a jogger. I love to run, and I love to run too. But the fact is that walking can offer you the same similar heart benefits with less joint stress. Someone today just asked me, I was doing some videos to try to help you guys all out with the new home rehab kits. And the guy who's videotaping me said, hey, is jogging better than walking? Like, should I be jogging instead of just walking? And my initial gut reaction when I looked at him and looked at, how his body moves, I said, running might be more detrimental than actually not moving at all. Because our bodies are going to be increased. The weight on our joints is up to 3 times more when we run versus walk. We love to see running. You should be able to run and you should be able to jog. This doesn't mean you have to overdo it. And if you haven't been doing it for a while, please start walking first. And we'll talk about some ways to get you moving, but walking has a lot of benefits. So let's reduce the joint stress because a lot of my patients at this point, if you're in my office, there's probably some arthritis or some breakdown or some dysfunction. And if we take that dysfunction and I put more miles on it, you break down more. If the tires of your car, your body, are out of alignment and I put more miles on them, they're going to wear more and more unevenly. And when people lay down on my table, I see some worn out tires, some really worn out tires, really uneven. And chiropractic's all about balance and symmetry. But let's not try to add more imbalance while we're trying to heal your body. So if you're new into this, and I mean new, I mean 6 months, even a year maybe of work in my office, that's new. You do not have to be a marathoner by month 2. Brisk walking, same benefit. Lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, and even diabetes risk. And it's just as effective as running. We don't just walk just to move and get places. But we live in society now where we can get anywhere without any effort at all. If we had to bike or walk to get anywhere, we would stay trimmer, we would have less disease and less problems. And we're gonna go over the benefits of that. So challenge yourself. Maybe there's somewhere that you could go to pick some groceries up or whatever. Walk there. Maybe you get your tires changed. We're just talking about cars. Maybe it just so happens that tire place is a mile away. Drop your car off, walk home. Don't just sit there. It's great posture training and a stress relief. It's all rolled into one. The benefits of exercise, and we're considering walking absolutely exercise, has more benefits that we could list. We wouldn't have enough pages on this slideshow to list all the benefits. If I was selling something to you and I was on an infomercial and said you could reduce heart risk, you could live longer, feel better, you'd be like, I'm buying. You don't have to buy this, you just have to do this. So do it. So why? What are the benefits? I'm selling you walking today and you don't have to pay anything. You can lower your blood pressure. You can increase blood flow to the brain. Inflammation in our brains is rampant. It's an epidemic. Neuroinflammation is the newest talk of anywhere. Why not get more good chemicals to your brain? Walk. Reduce your stress. Lower your cholesterol levels. It's absolutely been proven to lower cholesterol levels when you walk. You actually are more creative. Part of my heart's desire is creatively to help engage people. Well, if I want to do that and help you, I should be walking. I could be more creative, up to 60%. Your digestion is improved after meals. Go for a walk after dinner. Autophagy means breakdown. It actually means death. Cell death. Cell death is good when your cells are bad. That sounds funny. But cell death is good when cells are bad, because that means that we get rid of the abnormal function and decayed, deteriorated function of your cells and replace it with new cells. You know that almost every year your body replaces all the cells in your body? You're new. But the program that runs you is not new if we don't have autophagy. If we don't start to get adjusted, start walking, start eating better, start thinking better, our cells are running on a bad program. So let's change the program as we change new cells. Why do you think I recommend people get corrective care in this office for a year? Because I know if we stick with it, even if the pain doesn't just run away, that we've retrained those cells' function inside, the programming inside those cells, we've tuned them up to at least functioning at 60% or 70% of what they were doing. This is why time is key. Increase oxygen. Why not? Of course we want to do that. Reduce heart risk. Heart disease, metabolic disease is rampant. Blood clots, type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's is actually what it's called. All these things are due to lack of movement and exercise. Get moving. If you want to lose some pounds, start walking. Your spine, man, I knew we'd put that in somewhere, right? And I didn't even write this slide. That's the amazing part, Stephanie, who's listening. Your spine and your stride are intricately tied together. Your muscles of your spine have to support you as you move. This is why some people who do try to walk, they hurt, because they're in such a deteriorated and destroyed state in their spine that any kind of movement just hurts. Your body's under protection. We've got to break that. That's why you get chiropractic care. But once we start breaking that pattern, your body can start to move more fluidly, and we need you to move. If you've ever been really stiff in the morning and after a couple steps or a couple, 10, 20 minutes, you start to loosen up, that's because your movement pumps out inflammation and it starts to stimulate the muscles around your spine. Spinal support is improved when you have a better curvature of your spine, which is maintained when you walk, a better curve. You decrease that pressure on your discs. Did you know that when you sit, that's the most amount of pressure on those discs that you give it? Standing is better than sitting. When you move, you're actually taking and decompressing those discs, and you lubricate your joints. So just remember, when you're walking, just pretend there's that string right at the top of your head, and it's pulling you up. And if that's not enough of a cue to help down in here, just kind of suck in your abs a little bit and just brace your abs and make sure that your shoulders are just pulled back. So head tall, shoulders back, tighten those abs and start walking. Upright movement is the healthiest way to retrain a spinal position. walk and heal your spine. An 11-year study, these are wonderful. When you do a long-term study with 2,000 people, it's a decent sample size. They took 7,000 plus steps a day and had a 50 to 70% reduction, a lower risk in dying compared to those people who took fewer steps. So if you want to live longer, you want to decrease your risk of mortality early, at least 7,000 steps a day. I wonder if we have any of those pedometers. I bought really cheap pedometers one year. If I have any left and you need to count your steps, holler at me. But you can't just shake it and get 7,000 steps. You got to walk, all right? No cheating. You're cheating yourself, as my coach would say. So what are some of the simple ways that we can integrate walking into your life? What are some of the ways? Now, I gave you one way. Drop off your car, get an oil change, walk home. So what are some of the ways? Pair walking with daily habits like we talked about. When you have a lunch break, walk. Get on your phone and walk and talk. I know some people, they can only walk and talk. They can't talk when they're seated. They got to move. After dinner, take a walk. So pair them with things. We call this habit stacking in our habit workshops, but make sure that you say, hey, I just ate lunch, I'm gonna walk. I'm now on a phone, I'm gonna walk around. Track progress. Your brain loves rewards. When it sees you're meeting goals, you get little hits of dopamine. Why do you think your phone and everywhere else is trying to track things for you? They want you to check boxes because our brains love it. So track it. Maybe you have a little chart, just simple paper and pen. Maybe your phone does it. Do something, but track it. You know, the best thing to do is to track it with other people. You know, the nice thing about Apple Watches and some of the other apps is you can share progress of your progress with other people's progress. And it keeps you motivated. You know, it's a little competition. Ooh, she got 10,000 steps today. She burnt 50 calories. I'm burning 100. Competition is good at a certain extent. So track with others. Add variety. You know, you might have a certain walk in a path that's wonderful, but break it up. Do trails, do stairs, incline if you're on a treadmill. Do movement breaks. You know, we talk about posture breaks, movement breaks. Every hour that you're working or sitting, you should walk at least 2 to 3 minutes. Just get up and move. And at the minimum, remember that posture break. Extend that chest. Deep breaths. If you could walk and breathe, even do some breath work, slow down and focus on your breath and your movement, your brain is getting a bath of relaxation. It is a bath of relaxation when you breathe and you move and you focus on only those things. Walk with a purpose. Now, this is where we start to bring in affirmations, a gratitude walk, a walking meditation, problem-solving walks. The list goes on. You know, I'd love for someone to bring me in some information on these or do it. Video yourself doing it and post it on our Instagram or our Facebook. It would be so motivational for other people. Again, get accountability, get a walking buddy. How do you incorporate more walking into that daily life? Well, we've got walking tips. I mean, the only person who's going to get this tip is Lena because she's the only one here again. But these walking tips, you're going to get these on our website. There will probably be links to these underneath workshop recordings. We're getting these recordings up so fast. Kudos to John and Steph who do these things. You guys are getting these things back so fast that you barely are missing a week. It might be 2 or 3 weeks at the most now, but these will be there with you when you're looking for those workshop recordings. But these downloadables are your key. This is how you can start to track and measure those boxes. This is the way it's done. We have all the tools, but only you can act. So if you guys haven't done these things, please do. Make sure you download this stuff. Otherwise, we will see you guys next week. Thank you for being here. This was a fun one.